Digital romance TV.
Hello, America and the world. I'm Michael Fiore, and this is the lovely and talented Nora Blake with another digitalromance.tv video for you. Today we're talking about 5 steps for not going fucking nuts or crazy, as it says here, when communicating with your ex.
Yep.
Because oftentimes, whether you have kids or you're dealing with, property or whatever else it is, you got to actually deal with your ex in one way. So
or you have a lot of friends in common. I mean,
you got to see them sometimes.
People.
Yeah. You got to see them out with somebody else. That bitch Carol. Sorry. Anyway. Number 1 is actually whenever you're communicating with your ex, don't make it about why you broke up. This happens all the time. People feel this need for closure. They feel this need they can't personally
Or
move
to
on.
prove themselves right by making that person constantly bad in that specific way to
Exactly.
make,
But it's not about that anymore. You broke up. It's over. You don't have to change them anymore. They don't have to change you anymore. No, you're done.
Okay.
You're actually done. It's okay.
Unless you have children with them.
Number 2 is this was yours, to respect what you had and to actually remember why you liked them in the first place. Why don't you
This
talk about that?
is really helpful when you do have to be in contact,
you
constant
do,
contact. Like,
yeah.
right, yeah. I mean, I co-parent or attempt to with my ex, and so I have to talk to him on a regular basis. And so the way I get through that is to not focus on the things that drove me crazy and the reasons that we're not together anymore, but to try to remember all of the good qualities that he brings. And also, that's what I focus on around our children, because I purposefully want him to be a part of their lives and to bring the good things that he has to offer into their lives. So
it's kind of like being in a relationship in general, actually.
Yep.
And like Text the Romance Back, I talk about this, and many other books about relationships talk about this, and the idea that successful relationships come from focusing on what you like about somebody.
Yep.
And in friendships too. We both have flaws, but we don't really spend a lot of time sitting around saying, "Here's what I dislike about Nora. It's so awful," because that's not the point.
that's right.
Number 3, venting before you have to talk to them. Get it out early. Get it out. Now, there can be a downside to venting early, because you go to a friend and you say, "Oh my God, I got to go see Carl today," and you're like, "Why is he named Carl? It's a stupid name." But getting it out, like just expectorating all of that.
Or even
anger.
if you do it like in your car
Yeah.
to yourself,
Sure.
while you're like yell at the traffic and with your windows up and like get all get it all
Or do
out.
a bunch of push-ups first.
Yeah, there you go.
Or do something. It's almost like from Something About Mary, where he, self-pleasures before going on his date, and there's that whole scene with the hair gel, as it were. Get it done early. Number 4 is actually one that I think is really important. Is remember you can leave the room. Right.
Yes.
And for me, with that, this happened in my relationship I had. It ended. It got really bad by the end. And then after we broke up, we actually were able to talk again.
Right.
And she was asking me why that was. And I said, well, because I can leave the room. Unconsciously, I can leave the room. And knowing you can leave the room means you're not stuck talking to them. You're not stuck sitting there being lambasted for something, or you're not stuck, getting into this fight. And they're not stuck either.
Right.
And knowing that they're not stuck there and that you're not stuck there, will actually make both of you be more polite. And if you are talking to your ex and your ex is being vicious and mean, you say, "I'm just going to leave the room," or just actually do leave the room at that
Right.
point. It's
Well,
incredibly freeing, if you can.
It's always better to try to put a stopping point and not just walk out on somebody, because that's also highly disrespectful.
But really, it's about understanding they don't have that power over you
Sure.
anymore, and you don't have that power over them anymore.
Sure.
Which is just as important to understand, actually,
Yep.
because it'll make you be on better behavior. And number 5, meet in a public place.
I highly recommend that. It
Otherwise
helped
you'll end
a
up
lot.
having
Yeah.
ex sex.
No.
Oh.
It's because, for my ex and I, there was a certain place where he could not talk to me without screaming at me. But being in a public place helped not let that happen, because he would take a breath and realize there was people around and he had to act a certain way. So it got us to the place where we could actually have meaningful conversations about things we needed to talk about, like custody and things. But yeah.
I think it's also just about, overall, it's about understanding your ex as a human being. Yeah. And your ex, and that you're a human being, and that as human beings we are incredibly irrational creatures, and that we had all these expectations wrapped up in what that relationship was supposed to be, and we're disappointed because those expectations weren't met, and that's where a lot of that anger is coming from.
Right.
And that both people in it, you have to understand, when you're feeling really angry and wretched and everything else, you have to forgive both yourself for that and forgive your ex-partner for having those emotions as well.
Sure.
Right? It doesn't mean they're a bad person because they've acted badly at the end of a relationship. We all do it. And that's it. So if you want to leave a comment, go down below. If you have a tip or a idea for how you deal with communicating with your ex, leave it down below. And go to digitalromance.tv for more videos.
It will never not be funny to me.
See that TV?
Go leave me a comment down below.
Leave me a comment down below.
Yeah.
Bye. If you and your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend broke up and you want them back, put the cell phone down right now and go to digitalromance.tv/TXB. At that link, you'll find a special video I put together that teaches you the exact text to send to your ex to make him or her forgive you for everything. Remember how great your relationship used to be and even beg to have you back. Again, that URL is digitalromance.tv/TXB.